Welcome to class tonight. I do hope that you all are doing well. Yesterday we started talking about the circumference, or the distance around a circle. Tonight we'll be working through how to find how much space is actually inside a circle, or we're talking about the area of a circle. Now, I will say the book goes through a very good talk, very good discussion on page 456 right here. A very good talk about how we get the formula. Now, I would strongly recommend you check that out. We may be talking about that tomorrow in class as well. But the basic idea you need to walk away is with basically they take the area of so they take the formula for the area of a parallelogram, which is base times height, and transform it into the area for a circle. So the formula we're going to be using tonight is, and you see here at the bottom, area equals pi r squared. Remember pi from yesterday. Pi is the Greek letter, and in this case it means 3.14 or 22/7, and we're actually going to be using both 3.14 and 22/7 tonight, so we're going to be practicing with that. So let's go ahead and start by practicing using this formula. Now, as I always going to strongly encourage you, you estimate your answer first. That's going to help you out the most. So we see here, and this is example 1 on page 457. This is example 1 right here. I have a circle with a radius of 5 feet. So I'm going to estimate first. I want to estimate, let's use, for pi, let's use 3. Okay, so when I estimate, it's going to be a equals pi r squared. So a equals pi times 5 squared, and I remember we're going to use 3 for pi. So 5 squared is going to be 25. So it's 5 times 5 is 25. That's how you find the square. And then times pi is going to be, so 3 times 25 is going to be 75. Okay, so my estimation is 75. Now I'm going to actually solve it. Okay, so I'm going to use my same formula, a equals pi r squared, and so I see a equals pi and then the radius squared. So I already know 5 squared is going to be 25, so a equals pi times 25. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull up my calculator. Remember we did this last class period, or last time. So 3.14 times 25 equals, and we're going to use 7.5. So our area is going to be 78.5. That's the area. Now, with the area, you're always, the units are always going to be squared units. So in this case, I have feet. So my units are going to be 78.5 square feet. Square feet. There we go. That's better. Square feet. So that is the example number 1. Now let's go do one more that is very similar to that one. We're going to use here another circle with a radius of 3 inches. So first of all, I'm going to estimate. So my area is going to be a equals pi times 3 squared. Well, 3 squared is 9, because 3 times 3 is 9. So area equals pi times 9. And 3 times 9 is going to be 27. So my area here is, my estimate is going to be around 27. Now, for my exact one, I'm going to use the same formula, pi times 3 squared. So I'm going to use a equals pi times 9. I'm going to pull up my awesome calculator. 3.14 times 9 equals 28.26. Now I'm always going to round to the tenths. So my answer then, area, is going to be 28.3. I rounded it up 1. Now remember, we always do area in square units. So my answer is going to be 23.3 square inches. Okay, kind of squeeze that in there, but that works. Okay, so area is 28.3 square inches. Now, the very last one, we are going to be focusing on this one right here. We're going to focus on practicing using that definition of pi. We've already worked on this a lot, so we know that one very, very well. Now let's go and work on the 22.7. Now, with the 22.7, you can only use 22.7. It's only helpful if your radius is divisible by 7. It's easily divisible by 7. If it's not going to work out the best as you want it to, okay? So, let's go get started. I'll use a different marker for this one. So, I'm going to use my exact same formula. Pi times my area is going to be 21 meters, so 21 squared. Okay? So, now this one you probably don't have stuck in your brain. Oop, didn't mean to do that. This one you probably don't have stuck in your brain. So, I would go ahead and get your calculator up. And 21 times 21, and the answer is 441. So, right here, 21 squared is going to be A equals pi times 441. And once again, we use 3. So I'm going to pull my calculator back up here, multiply that times 3. And so my estimate is going to be 13,000, was that 23? Yes, so 1,323. That's my estimate. And now I'm going to go ahead and solve. So I'm going to use a lot of that actually. So area equals pi 21 squared. Area equals pi times 441. And so area equals, so I'm going to use pi here. I'm going to write 22 over 7 times 441 over 1. Now I can use my cross multiplying skills to know that 7, I can cross multiply, that's going to be 63, because 63 times 7 is going to be 441, and then this will be a 1, so that crosses out. So all I have to do now is multiply, I'm going to use more than the box here, multiply 22 times 63. When I multiply 22 times 63, I'm going to get 1,386. You can see I pulled up my calculator. So right here, 22 times 63 is going to be 1,386. And that's how I can use 22/7 to find the area of the shape. Now I did forget one specific thing, and remember we always have to know the units. We always have to put the units in. So in this case, my units are going to be meters, so I'm going to write it 1,386 square meters. And that is the answer. That is how you can use 22/7 to solve these types of problems. Now, that is the lesson. The main things to take away from this lesson is you've got to memorize this formula. Now, the 22/7 may be a little more difficult. It's very good exercise and multiplication skills and all those things. But you especially need to remember area equals pi times r squared, or pi times the radius squared. That is the most important takeaway from this lesson. Tomorrow in class, we're going to apply that more and make sure we really know that formula. Now, your homework tonight will be page 458, 2 through 8 even. Once again, 458, 2 through 8 even. Have a great night, and we'll see you all tomorrow.